Hello everyone and welcome to another math video. Today we're going to be looking at how to use order of operations when solving problems. Maybe you've heard of PEMDAS before, maybe you've heard of GEMDAS before. That's what we're looking at today. A reminder that this is the shorter version of this lesson. So we're going to go sort of quick through the examples. If you want the full length lesson, you feel like this is too fast, I will link that in the description below. Before attempting this lesson, you should already know how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide positive and negative numbers, and you should already be familiar with powers and negative bases and exponents. If you need a refresher on any of those, I will link them in the description below. All right, so here you have two problems. And the question is, which one do you do first? Do you do 3 plus 5 is 8 first, and then times 4, which is 32? Or do you do 5 times 4, which is 20, and then add the 3, which is 23. Okay, you get two different answers. And so mathematicians came up with something called the order of operations. It's the order you should do the operations in, because you shouldn't be getting two different answers in math like that. So let's take a look at how this works. So GEMDAS is an acronym. It's a way to remember the order of operations. Maybe you've heard of PEMDAS. I think GEMDAS is a little better. So some ways to remember here down in the bottom left. George, excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That's one way to remember it. But the one that I really like is giants eat mini donuts as snacks. Okay, I think it's hilarious to think of a giant eating a tiny little donut. All right, let's see how this works. So you go down here and you need to check each one. So the first question is, are there, G stands for grouping symbols. Are there grouping symbols, which means are there parentheses, brackets, or braces? And there are parentheses here. So you need to do this first. 3 minus 2 is 1. And then you need to ask again, are there parentheses? Are there grouping symbols? And there are. Okay, I left them around the 1, but is there anything to do inside of those parentheses? No, right? It's just the 1 sitting there. There's no add, subtract, or anything like that. So we just leave it. So grouping symbols done, check. For the exponents, are there exponents? Yes, there are. So we need to do this next. 3 to the second power is 9. Okay, bring everything else down, right? I don't change anything else except for what I was working with. All right, cool. Are there any more exponents? None. Is there multiplication or division? Yes, there is, right? 5 times 9 is 45. Done with multiplication and division. Last step here, add, subtract. Yes, 1 plus 45 is 46. This is my final answer. All right, let's take a look at another one here with some positive, negative signs. Okay. Negative 7 minus negative 2 is just the same as saying negative 7 plus 2. So negative 7 plus 2 is negative 5 to the second power divided by negative 5. All right, is there anything left? So we did the parentheses first, the grouping symbols, done. Are there exponents? Yes. Negative 5 to the second power is positive 25. Done with the exponents. Is there multiply, divide? Yes. 25 divided by negative 5 is negative 5. And this is my final answer, right? No add or subtract to do here. All right, there is one more piece to order of operations that we need to remember. And that is, so let's look at this problem here. Are there any grouping symbols? No grouping symbols. Are there any exponents? No exponents. Is there multiplication and division? Yes, there is. Okay? And I see division, multiplication, multiplication. How do you know which one to do first? Okay, and you might be saying, well, I do the multiplication first because that's the letter and that is the order of GEMDAS. Okay, yes, you're right, but no, you're not right, okay? Because when it comes to multiplication and division, if you have a choice, you need to follow this left to right rule. So I need to do the division first because it's the first thing I see from left to right. 14 divided by 14 is 1. Bring everything else down without changing it. And now you have two multiplication signs. Go in order from left to right. So first, 1 times 20 is 20. And then this multiplication, 3 times 20 is 60. 20 plus 60 is 80. Final answer. Okay, here is our cool clock for today, which means that it's time for you to practice what you just learned. So go ahead and pause the video and try these two problems that are up on the screen. And when you're ready to check your answers, go ahead and unpause the video. Okay, now that you've had time to work these problems, let's take a look at your solutions. For this one, you should have done exponents first. So this would be 36 plus -4 plus -9. Then you should have gone left to right. 36 plus -4 is 32 plus -9. 32 plus -9 is positive 23. Final answer. For this problem on the right, you should have said, oh, I see multiplication. There are no grouping symbols. There are no exponents, but I see multiplication and division. So you have to go from left to right. So you should have done 24 divided by 8 is 3. Then you should have done 3 times 4, which is 12. And then you should have said, okay, there's addition and subtraction. And so you need to follow that one from left to right. Just like multiplication division, you need to follow addition, subtraction, left to right. So 7 minus 12 is -5. -5 plus 6, final answer is 1. And that is it for today. I hope y'all have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.